Hello friends, today, we're diving into an incredible book called Do Hard Things by Steve Magness. Meet Ryan, a highly focused and serious individual when it came to his work. But there was one thing that always troubled him. He couldn't quite understand his own emotions. No matter how tough life got, Ryan had always suppressed his feelings, his anger, his fear, and never once stopped to ask himself why he was feeling a certain way. His approach to life was simple. Whatever happens, just get through it. But one day, something happened that completely changed his perspective. Ryan had a close friend named Alex. Alex was an avid reader and constantly encouraged Ryan to explore new books. While Ryan enjoyed reading, he often stuck to practical books that addressed everyday challenges. One day, Alex handed him a copy of Do Hard Things and said, "Ryan, this book is for you. It challenges everything we've been taught about toughness. If you read this, you'll understand what real toughness is all about." Ryan took the book hesitantly, but decided to give it a shot. The first chapter was titled Redefining Toughness, and as he started reading, Ryan felt like his entire understanding of life was about to shift. Steve Magness introduced a new perspective on toughness. The author argued that real toughness isn't about being emotionally callous or dominant. Instead, it's about learning to live with discomfort and making thoughtful decisions under stress. These words echoed in Ryan's mind. For the longest time, Ryan had believed toughness meant showing no emotions, no fear, no anger, just pushing through life without hesitation. But now, Steve Magness' insights were challenging everything Ryan thought he knew. Real toughness involves navigating discomfort, Magness wrote. Ryan paused. He thought to himself, have I ever truly tried to understand my emotions? Have I been running away from my fears and anger instead of facing them? The book explained that true courage lies in understanding your emotions and using them as tools to make better decisions, not suppressing them. This idea hit Ryan hard. He realized that, for him, toughness had always meant never giving up. But maybe true toughness was more about embracing his emotions, understanding them, and using them wisely. The more he read, the more questions arose in his mind. If I keep ignoring my feelings, am I really tough? Or am I just running away from my fears? This new definition of toughness made Ryan rethink everything. He started questioning his approach to life. Was he truly tough? Or had he been avoiding discomfort all along? For years, Ryan had thought that avoiding vulnerability made him strong. But now, he understood that enduring discomfort and staying clear-headed during difficult times was the real mark of toughness. Ryan began applying this new perspective to every part of his life. At work, he often felt overwhelmed when his boss assigned him challenging tasks. In the past, he would let fear take over. What if I fail? But now, he started to see fear as just an emotion. Instead of running from it, he leaned into it and approached the task thoughtfully. He remembered one particular project at work that had terrified him. At the time, he had been consumed by the thought, what if I can't pull this off? But now, he saw it differently. Fear wasn't something to avoid. It was something to understand. Ryan embraced the challenge, broke the project into smaller tasks, and navigated each one with clarity. Slowly, he realized that toughness wasn't about working without fear. It was about recognizing the fear, feeling it, and moving forward anyway. This was a turning point for Ryan. He decided that from now on, he would stop suppressing his emotions. Instead, he would try to understand them and use them constructively. He realized that true toughness wasn't about physical strength alone. It was about emotional balance and mental resilience. As he closed the book, Ryan thought about how his life had already started to change. The lessons from Do Hard Things had reshaped his perspective, and he couldn't wait to see what was next. This was just the beginning of Ryan's journey. Where would it lead him next? Only time would tell. So, friends, if you've ever struggled with the idea of what it means to be truly tough, this book might just be the game changer you need. Let me know in the comments what you think about this new definition of toughness. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful stories like this. See you in the next one. Will he continue trying to understand his emotions, or will old habits catch up with him again? This question had become even more pressing for Ryan. Since that day, he had been increasingly aware that he needed to look at his life through a new lens. The understanding of true toughness had taught him a lot, but now, he wanted to focus on another aspect of his life, one that required even more change. The next morning, as he sipped his coffee and opened the next chapter of the book, Ryan discovered something new. If you enjoy our free summaries, feel free to subscribe to our channel, join our membership, or support us through UPI. Now, back to the summary. This time, Steve Magness delved into another aspect of toughness that Ryan had never taken seriously before. Embrace reality. Embrace reality meant accepting the truth, not just your strengths, but also your weaknesses. For Ryan, this was a new challenge because he had always tried to hide his flaws. He believed that if he showed his weaknesses to the world, people would perceive him as weak. But as soon as Ryan started reading this chapter, he realized that this mindset was his biggest mistake. Steve Magness wrote, "Ditch the facade. Embrace reality. That is, let go of the pretense and accept the truth." Ryan understood that showing only his strengths wasn't the path to toughness. Knowing and accepting his weaknesses was far more critical. Old habits still had their grip on Ryan. Whenever he faced a challenge, he would try to convince himself and others that he was fully prepared. At work, whenever a tough project came his way, he'd confidently say, "I've got this," even when he felt anxious inside. He didn't want anyone to know that he felt uncertain or scared about his abilities. But now, after understanding Embrace Reality, Ryan realized that this constant need to put on a strong front was actually making things harder for him. Accepting the truth was real strength. This thought kept echoing in his mind. What if I admit my weaknesses without fear? What if I show people that I'm human, with strengths and flaws? Ryan began to feel that the life he had been living was just an attempt to hide his fears and insecurities, trying to show others that he knew everything and could do anything. Did that truly make him strong? He asked himself, and the answer was a clear no. Ryan decided that to truly recognize his strengths, he first needed to understand his limitations. Without accepting his boundaries, he couldn't tackle problems effectively. He now understood that true strength lay in embracing his flaws without shame. Ryan resolved to be open about his reality with himself and his team. At work, a big presentation was coming up, and he knew it was going to be a significant challenge. Earlier, he would have focused on pretending he was entirely prepared and in control. But this time, he realized that by understanding and sharing his actual situation with others, he could perform better. He gathered his team and said, "Look, this presentation is a big responsibility, and it's my first time handling something this critical. I'll give it my best, but I need more information about a few things to ensure I can do a better job." These words were hard for Ryan to say. He had always tried to present himself as fully capable and confident. But this time, he embraced the truth. His team appreciated his honesty and didn't see him as weak or incapable. Instead, they admired his sincerity and openness. Ryan realized that by accepting the truth, he could work with greater ease and confidence. A new strength emerged within him, the strength to acknowledge his weaknesses without fear. As he started applying this philosophy in his life, he felt he no longer needed to run from his problems. Instead, he wanted to confront them head-on. He understood that as long as he ran from the truth, he would never truly succeed. But by embracing reality, Ryan knew he was on the path to genuine toughness and a better version of himself. Ryan knew that simply understanding this concept wasn't going to change everything. He needed to delve deeper into his newfound perspective. True transformation, he realized, would only come when he truly embraced the idea that real confidence doesn't come from pretending. It comes from wholeheartedly accepting oneself. Ryan resolved to confront his weaknesses, identify them, and work on improving them. He understood that genuine growth could only happen when you fully recognize your true self. Embracing reality didn't just mean acknowledging his shortcomings. It also meant striving to know himself completely, without fear or doubt. The next day, Ryan walked into his office feeling a profound sense of calm. He decided that he would no longer lie or hide his vulnerabilities in any situation. He realized that real strength lay in embracing the truth. However, a question lingered in his mind. Would he be able to move forward in life with this new perspective? Could he truly understand and improve upon his weaknesses? Ryan knew the answers would unfold as he continued his journey. Each day was teaching him something new about life. Reality, which he often overlooked, was now becoming a powerful teacher. Ryan began paying attention to his physical and mental states, things he had always dismissed as mere work-related stress. But a chapter in a book he was reading gave him a new direction. It was titled Listen to Your Body. As Ryan started reading, he realized it might be the most important lesson yet. The author, Steve Magness, emphasized that understanding and paying attention to your physical and mental states is an essential part of real toughness. Listen to your body meant recognizing your physical and mental state and taking a moment to reflect before reacting. Ryan realized how often he ignored the signals from his body and mind. In stressful situations, he would suppress his emotions and act as if his physical reactions didn't matter. For instance, when he was nervous about a presentation, he would push through his anxiety, pretending to be unaffected, thinking, "Fake it till you make it." But now, Ryan understood the flaw in this approach. Ignoring the signals only made things worse. Steve Magness had written, "Create a space between stimulus and response." This meant that when faced with a challenging situation, instead of reacting immediately, one should take a moment to recognize their feelings and physical state. Only then could one make the right decisions. Ryan realized this pause wasn't just helpful, it was essential. Acting without reflection would never lead him to the right path. He began questioning himself. Why do I react instantly to difficult situations? Shouldn't I first try to understand my body's responses? These thoughts lingered in his mind. Ryan became more aware of how his heart raced, how his hands got clammy, and how he would take deep breaths to calm himself during stressful moments. Previously, he dismissed these signs as weaknesses. Now, he thought, what if I pay attention to these signals? Could I make better decisions? One day at work, Ryan had a big task. He had to give an important presentation. This was the same task that once filled him with fear and anxiety, but this time, he approached it differently. As he prepared, he felt his heart rate increase and noticed a slight sweat forming on his palms. Instead of ignoring these signs, Ryan remembered what he had learned. He took a short break, closed his eyes, and focused on his breathing. This is nervousness, he thought. It's just a feeling. If I fear it, I won't make the right choices. I need to stay calm and accept it. Ryan stayed quiet for a few minutes, allowing himself to feel the emotions without judgment. Once he felt centered, he began his presentation. This time, he wasn't pretending or hiding his nerves. He embraced them. Through this approach, Ryan realized the power of accepting his reality. It wasn't about eliminating fear or anxiety. It was about understanding them, giving himself time to process, and then responding thoughtfully. With each experience, Ryan was learning that true strength came from listening to himself and acting with clarity, rather than haste. Would Ryan's journey of self-awareness and acceptance continue to help him thrive? Only time would tell. But one thing was clear. Ryan was on a path of transformation, one step at a time. Ryan's voice was clearer than ever, and this time, he felt a wave of confidence instead of anxiety. He realized that when he paid attention to the signals from his body and mind, he could handle situations much better. Ryan adopted a new approach. Before facing any challenging situation, he would take a moment to reflect on himself. He knew this practice would mentally strengthen him. Whenever Ryan felt stressed, he first observed the signals from his body and then responded gradually. He now understood that real strength wasn't just about muscles, but about maintaining mental balance. Steve Magness had written, "Mindfulness helps in making better choices during difficult situations," and Ryan found this to be absolutely true. When he thought calmly, his decisions and reactions were far more effective. He decided to live his life through this new lens. Ryan was beginning to grasp that understanding the messages from his body and mind allowed him to navigate himself far better. But the question lingered. What would Ryan's next step be? Would he embrace this new habit permanently, or would he revert to his old ways when faced with a tough situation? He knew the answer would unfold in time. Over the past few months, Ryan had noticed significant changes in his life. After adopting the practice of listening to his body, he began paying closer attention to both his physical and mental states. However, a crucial new lesson awaited him. Respond, not react. When Ryan read about this concept in Steve Magness' book, he paused. The difference between responding and reacting suddenly became clear. He realized that controlling his responses thoughtfully could help him face challenges more effectively. Magness explained that real toughness isn't about how you immediately react to fear or anxiety, but how you face those emotions and then respond appropriately. This was a whole new perspective for Ryan. He reflected, could I have handled the things I once labeled as fear or anxiety in a better way? Ryan remembered how he used to react hastily in difficult situations, whether at work or in his personal life. For example, whenever he faced criticism at the office, his immediate reaction was to go on the defensive without considering if there was truth in the critique. Instead of understanding and processing the feedback, he would try to justify himself. He realized he needed to differentiate between hearing criticism, reacting, and thoughtfully responding. After understanding respond, not react, Ryan committed to changing his approach. The next time he encountered criticism, he decided he would first calm his emotions and then respond thoughtfully. One day, a major project landed on Ryan's desk, putting him in a challenging position. As his team started working, several disagreements arose regarding the direction of the project. The tension in the room was palpable. In the past, Ryan would have felt overwhelmed and reacted impulsively. But this time, he remembered what he had learned from Magness' book. As soon as he felt anger and anxiety bubbling up, he told himself, pause, breathe, think. He focused on his physical state. His racing heartbeat and sweaty palms were clear indicators of his stress. Instead of letting fear take over, he allowed himself to feel it and then consciously shifted to a calm mindset. Ryan addressed his team with composure. This situation seems complex, but we need to stay calm and work through it. I understand there are some disagreements, but our goal is the same, to make this project successful. Let's take a step back, consider everyone's ideas, and try to find a solution together. His measured and thoughtful response resonated with the team. They appreciated Ryan's approach and began discussing the problem more constructively. By staying calm and focusing on the bigger picture, Ryan successfully steered the team toward a solution. This experience reaffirmed to Ryan that responding thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively, was the key to handling challenges effectively. He was now committed to this practice, knowing it would shape not just his professional life but his personal life as well. The journey of growth and self-awareness had just begun for Ryan. Ryan felt a shift in the tension within his team. He realized that the way he had responded to a recent challenge was very different from his old habits. Instead of reacting impulsively, Ryan tried to recognize his emotions and manage them before responding. This change not only positively impacted his team, but also the progress of the project they were working on. Ryan had come to understand the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting meant acting on impulse without much thought, often driven by heightened emotions, while responding involved identifying emotions, staying calm, and making thoughtful decisions. This approach, Ryan realized, could help him navigate through challenges more effectively. Inspired by this insight, Ryan decided to implement this change in other aspects of his life. He reflected on his interactions with his family and recognized that he often reacted impulsively. For example, when his wife would ask him a question while he was engrossed in something else, Ryan would sometimes snap at her out of irritation. Determined to improve, Ryan began practicing self-control. Whenever he felt anger rising, he reminded himself to pause, stay calm, and think before speaking. One evening at home, a similar situation arose. His wife asked him something while he was busy, and he initially felt his usual irritation bubble up. But this time, Ryan stopped himself, took a deep breath, and calmly explained that he was occupied and would respond properly later. To his surprise, this small shift not only diffused the moment but also strengthened their relationship. Ryan realized that responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively had a profound impact on the quality of his connections. Ryan now understood that facing challenges with the right mindset and control over his emotions was a true mark of mental toughness. He also realized that mastering this skill required consistent practice. Every time he responded thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, he felt a sense of growth in his mental resilience. But Ryan began to wonder, could he consistently respond this way, or would he occasionally fall back into old patterns? This question led him to a deeper understanding, the role of core needs in shaping behavior. Ryan learned this concept from a book he had been reading by Dr. Magness, who emphasized that a person's mental strength and capacity to handle challenges are deeply rooted in fulfilling their basic needs, not just physical, but emotional and psychological as well. This revelation was eye-opening for Ryan. He had always believed that overcoming difficulties was purely about willpower and mental strength. But now he understood that if a person's core needs, like feeling respected, appreciated, and connected, weren't met, their ability to function at their best would be compromised. Dr. Magness explained that when we fulfill these needs, we become mentally stronger and more prepared to face challenges. Conversely, neglecting them leads to burnout, frustration, and defeat. Ryan began to reflect on his own life. Was he truly addressing his core needs? He realized that in his drive to excel at work, he often neglected to seek appreciation or acknowledgement for his efforts, both from his team and his family. Did he feel respected and valued for his contributions? Did he create a sense of belonging and significance for himself and those around him? One day at the office, Ryan observed his team closely. He noticed they were under immense pressure due to the project deadlines, and tensions were high. Team members seemed disconnected and unmotivated. Ryan realized the root of the issue. Everyone felt their hard work wasn't being acknowledged or appreciated. It struck him that when people feel unseen and undervalued, they naturally lose motivation and cohesion. This realization was a turning point for Ryan. He made it a priority to address not only his own core needs, but also those of his team. He began fostering a culture of appreciation and recognition. Whether it was through small gestures like saying "great job" or celebrating milestones, Ryan ensured that everyone felt their efforts mattered. Over time, Ryan saw a remarkable transformation. His team became more cohesive, motivated, and resilient in the face of challenges. On a personal level, Ryan's relationships improved, and he found a deeper sense of fulfillment. He now understood that responding thoughtfully wasn't just about controlling his emotions. It was about creating an environment where people, including himself, felt respected, valued, and connected. Ryan had discovered the true essence of mental toughness, balancing emotional intelligence with the fulfillment of core needs. While he knew he might still slip up occasionally, he was committed to this new approach and confident it would continue to bring positive change in his life. Ryan sat in his office, lost in thought. A single idea echoed in his mind: performance is impacted by unfulfilled needs. It struck him that we all have basic needs, and if those go unmet, it's nearly impossible to perform at our best. As he reflected further, Ryan realized that it wasn't just his team whose needs might be neglected. He had been neglecting his own as well. Questions swirled in his mind. Did his efforts ever receive genuine appreciation? Did he feel good only when others acknowledged his hard work? Or was he just burying himself in tasks, meeting challenges head-on without pausing to recognize his own need for respect and support? Determined to address this, Ryan decided it was time to have an honest conversation with his team. During the next team meeting, he opened up. "I feel like we're all working incredibly hard," he said. "But do you think our efforts are being truly appreciated? Does anyone here feel genuinely valued and respected for what they bring to the table?" His question startled the group. At first, there was silence. But soon, one by one, his team members began to share their thoughts. Some felt their contributions weren't acknowledged enough, while others felt unheard or overlooked. Ryan listened intently to everyone. After they had finished, he said, "I understand how important it is for all of us to feel valued in this team. Each of us plays a crucial role, and every contribution matters. We should make it a priority to acknowledge and respect one another's efforts." From that day on, Ryan made sure to celebrate the efforts of each team member. He cultivated a work environment where everyone felt appreciated and understood their importance. Over time, he noticed a significant shift, not only in the morale of his team but also in their performance, even under challenging circumstances. This transformation didn't stop at the office. Ryan began applying these lessons to his personal life as well. He made an effort to spend more quality time with his wife and children, letting them know how much they meant to him. One evening, his wife asked, "Ryan, you seem happier and more at peace lately. What's changed?" Ryan smiled and said, "I've learned that when we meet our basic needs, when we feel respected and appreciated, we become stronger. And when we make the people around us feel the same, we all grow together." This realization had a profound impact on Ryan. He now understood that true mental strength and success come from fulfilling not just our physical needs, but also our emotional and mental ones. At work, Ryan encouraged his team to maintain this balance. One day, while working on a particularly challenging project with a tight deadline, he held a team meeting to ensure everyone felt supported. "What's on your mind?" he asked them. "Do you feel your contributions are being recognized?" The team responded with enthusiasm, expressing their ideas and concerns. Ryan's proactive approach made everyone feel involved, respected, and motivated. By fostering this environment, Ryan ensured that both his team and family thrived. He realized that the key to overcoming life's daily challenges wasn't just hard work and confidence. It was the strength that comes from mutual respect, appreciation, and emotional support. Ryan's journey of understanding the role of core needs transformed him as a leader, a teammate, and a family man. While the path wasn't always easy, he was committed to embracing these principles in every aspect of his life. The question remained, though, could he consistently ensure that he, his team, and his loved ones felt respected and valued every day? Ryan knew the answer would come, one small challenge at a time. In the end, he realized this wasn't just about achieving success, but about building a life where everyone felt empowered to face challenges together. That was the true essence of mental strength. Ryan had never truly taken the time to reflect on whether his team members were giving their best effort. But this time, he decided to take a closer look at their basic needs and morale. This shift in his approach turned out to be a crucial turning point. One of his team members, Sarah, voiced her feelings. "I think our hard work hasn't been acknowledged properly. It often feels like our contributions aren't valued," she said. Ryan listened intently and took a deep breath. "This means a lot to me," he responded. "Every one of you is invaluable to this team, and it's my responsibility to ensure you feel appreciated." This acknowledgement brought a sense of relief to the team. Ryan noticed a marked change. When people felt their efforts were appreciated, their confidence and motivation soared. This positivity didn't just uplift the team, but also had a noticeable impact on the project's outcomes. For Ryan, this marked the beginning of a new perspective. He no longer feared work pressures and challenges. Instead, he realized that when his team and his family received the support they needed, they became more empowered and driven. He learned that when someone feels respected and valued, their mental strength and confidence grow. Over time, Ryan came to another significant realization. Beyond work, he wasn't paying attention to his own needs. Was he addressing his own emotions and mental well-being? He began to ponder this seriously. Ryan decided to change. He started spending more time with his family. Earlier, his mind was always occupied with work, even at home. But now, he resolved to be present, both emotionally and mentally. He began having open conversations with his wife and kids and discovered how sharing his feelings brought him peace and balance. One evening, his wife asked, "Ryan, you seem happier and calmer these days. What's changed?" With a smile, Ryan replied, "I've learned that when we address our basic needs, feel respected, and create that same feeling for those around us, we grow stronger." It's not just about work. It applies to our personal lives too. His realization inspired his wife and children. Ryan understood that fulfilling basic needs, whether in personal or professional life, was essential for maintaining mental balance. It wasn't just about overcoming challenges. It was about ensuring those needs were met so that one could be emotionally and mentally resilient. This marked a new chapter in Ryan's life. He had learned the value of addressing basic needs, and it became the foundation of his success and mental strength. Ryan now viewed every challenge as an opportunity to grow his mental resilience. And so, friends, this was today's book summary. Let us know in the comments how you found it, and thank you for staying till the end.